Hello and welcome. My name is Janice B Gordon. I'm co-president of the Professional Speaking Association, PSA South East, and visiting fellow of Cranfield School of Management, consulting and training sales teams in key account management and social selling. Now, as a professional speaker, I talk about scaling your sales. And today, I'm up close and personal with Tony. He's making me giggle at the moment, bobbing up and down. It's all right. I'll just talk. You can do what you want. So this is Tony J Selimi. I'll tell you all about all how we met and everything like that. But I adore this man. So listen up. He is amazing. Tony is an international speaker, educator who specializes in focusing your energy, your time, your emotional and mental abilities to build clarity, confidence, commitment, and consistency that you require to achieve the quantum leaps in all areas of your life. Now, he's got over 20 years. I know he doesn't look old enough. Doesn't he look gorgeous? Look at that face. Over 20 years experience in business and information technology. Now, Tony spent over 2 decades in private and public sector, managing teams and leading multi-million pound, probably dollars, technology programs before really getting on board to his true calling, which is to travel and to teach, to educate and to mentor fellow leaders, executives, and entrepreneurs. Now, Tony works with people from all professions to help solve meaningful problems for humanity and maximize the human potential, which is an incredible ambition. Now, Tony is an international best-selling, award-winning author of A Path to Wisdom and Loneliness. He's also the co-creator of Living My Illusion, which is a Hollywood multi-award-winning coaching documentary. Now, he is also been the keynote speaker for the United Nations Global Entrepreneurial Conference. Now, this is one or two things we've got in common. We've both done a TEDx. We've both spoken at the London Business Show. We've both got connections with Cranfield School of Management, and we're both members of the PSA. So, you know, I'm kind of getting up there to his great heights, but I adore him. Now, Tony's mission is to inspire positive action in the lives of 1 million people. And I'm sure he's on his way to do that, which is a great ambition. So welcome, my gorgeous Tony.
Well, it's a pleasure, my beautiful goddess, Janice.
Tony, we're going to be together, and I'm spreading rumors now. We are going to be together at the end of September for an incredible event. Now, if you're on this channel last week, you would have seen me interview Bella, Leah St. John. So I'm going to talk to you more about that event because you've got to come along and see this guy. But first, let's find out a bit more about Tony. So, Tony, what's the thing from your early life that's created the biggest impact, the most significant change in you that you've always taken forward?
There are a couple of things, Janice, from the early life that actually put me on this path. The first thing is I had to overcome severe health challenges that almost left me paralyzed and dead in hospital. And the other part was about experiencing bullying throughout high school. And on top of that, we had the civil war fell upon us in former Yugoslavia, which disintegrated and destroyed the lives of millions of people. And this is all experiencing all of this as a teenager, where you're trying to make sense of your reality, when you're starting to establish your identity, where you're trying to really do something with your life, where your parents working extremely hard to educate you, and suddenly everything around you falls apart. And those were some of the adversities. There have been so many more, which I talk about in detail in my both books, A Path to Wisdom and hashtag loneliness. So it's not just loneliness, it's hashtag loneliness. And what put me on a mission to actually bring this unique work that I've been developing for 30 years to really help people educate the biggest gift they have, which is all the mental, emotional, physical, spiritual qualities and faculties that they have by birth, to actually bring this work not to 1 million, as you mentioned, but actually to 1 billion people globally. That is my calling, because so far with my work, I've reached over 50 million people who in some form or shape have received this work. But I believe personally that every adversity that every human being undergoes, and when we break through those barriers, we create some powerful lessons that other people can actually use them to not go through trial and error, but being able to bypass the tremendous pain that many people go out there and actually create real breakthroughs, and in turn use those gifts to teach others, so we collectively can actually nudge the kind of direction humanity can go into. So for me anymore, it's not about myself, it's not about who's around me, it's about the people who are awakened in themselves that they want to do a global change. And how do we actually come together into unity? And how do we upgrade our mental, emotional faculties in a way that can create synchronicity, in a way that create, I would say, a deeper connection of where humanity can go?
Wow, there's about 5 different things that you've just said, and I'm trying to work out which is the first thing that I kind of pick you up on. Pain. You said that pain is one of the kind of driving forces, and it helps you to create your conscious framework for greatness. So why is it that pain what perhaps was your starting point, but is it often the starting point for many people?
It's pain and many other, I would say, qualities that the body has. It's there for a reason, and it's given to us for a reason. But there's 2 effects that happens when we experience tremendous pain, and pain takes different shapes and forms in one's life, and also it has different intensity. And it all depends of how you have been trained or programmed to actually experience the level of pain in yourself. Because, for instance, to somebody losing a parent is tremendous pain, but to somebody losing a child, it's a pain that no other pain can overtake. So it all takes different forms, but actually pain is like a fuel. If you imagine you're driving on this long road through Sahara Desert, and suddenly you have no fuel left. Now, the pain is the fuel of the body that can really help you go the extra miles to the next oasis in that Sahara, where you can feed your body and nurture your body. It's actually essential. It's part of our brain that actually dictates our flight and fight responses. So it's almost is this prehistorical part of ourselves that through evolution, it's always been there. But now we're experiencing evolution in human consciousness, where majority of people start accessing the frontal cortex of our brain and all the abilities that frontal cortex can create, whereby it actually can take over of your primitive brain that is there to actually experience reality through fear and fight and flight responses. So a lot of people are now awakening to the fact that saying, okay, well, this is a prehistorical part of myself. There's part of it which is essential. For instance, if we don't have that, we will jump through a tall building and kill ourselves. So there's a specific role. Our job is actually to become conscious and have conscious decisions about the different faculties that our brain has and how to use them. One, to better experience the wellness in our own physical body. Because if we ourselves feel healthy, are wealthy, are wise, we can go out there and teach other people how to do it. But if in ourselves we experience so many different disempowering states, including physical illness, including what I see most of the people in the city now, kind of clients that I coach, they have so much pressure and stress in their lives, and they're experiencing full burnout. Now, that is not a conscious way of living. Consistently, we are pushed out there from whatever society is expecting us to do, to actually burn the candle from both ends. And most people, they chase in the success because there's a reason behind that. And for instance, you know, some people, I speak about it, they have 3 kids, and therefore those 3 children need to be fed, need to be educated, the bills needs to be paid, whatever reason. Every individual has their own reason why they push themselves so much. But on that journey, we lose track of what's truly important. And what's truly important is your true being. Because if you don't look after number 1, which is you, there's no way you can look after your children or educate your children in a way that actually they are empowered in their own lives to be able to say no. Meaning, when those boundaries that affect us mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, in business, in relationship, or spiritually are being crossed or pushed by other people, you have the confidence with love to say, no, thank you, no. And a lot of people are afraid to do that because we've created this culture out there that basically you expect it to be the superhuman, the superhero. And we expect more mothers to actually earn money while they still have to do all the duties at home. Look after their children, look after the cooking, look after the cleaning, and still be entrepreneurial and provide. So those boundaries about who does who in the society have been diluted, and people are in this chaos, in this coma. And I think we live in a super, actually exciting times where we have the technology and we have so many amazing expert teachers out there in the world to help us realign ourselves to our true nature.
Do you know, when you answer the question, I'm thinking, again, I've got another 5 different things that I want to pick you up on. I'm trying to think, which is the most important one? It's so difficult. I want to bring it to a personal conversation that we have, because there's so much that we could talk about society kind of outside of ourselves, but it actually comes back to what you said about, unless you're well, you know, unless you're feeling good, it's difficult to lift other people up. And, you know, we spoke about, my brother died suddenly, my younger brother, you know, we're quite a close family, and it was devastating. It was probably, you know, I've had failures in life like most other people, and, you know, like businesses that failed, lost money, and, you know, being ripped off, all of those kind of daily things. And you think they're bad. But then when this happened, we just took it pain to another level that wasn't something that a pain that I could recognize, but it actually changed everything. I mean, I looked the same, I acted the same, but I was completely different. And then it's almost like a journey that you have to rediscover yourself. And what I was talking to you about is that this is something everyone kind of goes through to a different level. So it's meant to be, but it's quite a difficult journey, and it's something that we don't really explore enough about, because it's pretty fundamental to the way that we live, isn't it? I don't know what your views are.
Absolutely, it is fundamental, because one of the things what I've discovered in the last 30 years of doing in-depth scientific study, but also studying psychology, cognitive behavior, neuro-linguistic programming, and also emotional intelligence, but going beyond that into spiritual intelligence. It's that certain qualities that we as human beings have will always be there no matter what. Now, the experience of those qualities will be different. And unless we actually train ourselves in a way to be able to quickly adjust our, I would say, the chemical reactions that are happening in the body when a massive pain we experience, we can actually destroy ourselves through pain. And we can inflict, it's almost this self-harming thing that we do to ourselves. It's almost this narcissist part of ourselves that takes over. Because if, for instance, let's, in your case, like losing a brother, I know that my sisters would be devastated if me, the baby brother, were to die. And each of them would have different way of experiencing that pain. Now, nobody is trained to actually deal with death. And it's a subject that most people don't talk about it until it's too late. And usually there are so many people, because of the kind of spiritual work I do, so many people are seeking my help to help them come to terms and into peace with the loved ones that they've passed away. And usually it's like, there was a report a couple of years ago in Britain that was published about what are the wishes of most people who die at the last moments of their death. And majority, it's like it was amazing that some of the top things that they were thinking about it, they never lived their life according to what they truly wanted. But they always lived their lives according to other people. Now, when it comes to how that relates to pain, it's no parent out there is prepared to lose their child. Okay, we are taught in a way that basically when we lose somebody, we'll lose them at the age of 80, 90, or 100, or whatever. So with age, we're okay with that. But when something happens which is extremely traumatic to our body, it's those expectations that we have within ourselves that we fail. So we have to readjust our mental compass and moral compass according to the events that happening when the pain happens to us. And unfortunately, the pain and pleasure, there are two things, like my left and right hand. But most people either swing one way or the other way. And they don't see the two as a necessary part and a necessary component to every event that happens in the world, including when we experience death. For instance, when I help people to actually diffuse, I would say, grief, and be able to continue living their life without feeling guilty about things that they did not even participate, the first thing I bring to the awareness is about, let's say, I get them to acknowledge, first of all, what all the negative side of things are. But then I turn the mirror to try to find what is the positive outcome of that specific event. And 99.9% of people find it extremely difficult to find the positive in the negative. And that is why most people live in long-term pain that damages their mental faculties, emotional faculties, and worse, it impacts their physical body that, if not addressed, turns into some form of illness.
I think, that's a really hard thing. And I know that it's a hard thing because you want that person to be there. So it's difficult finding something good in something that you don't really want to, well, you may accept it, but don't want it to happen. But I kind of, like, 3 years in, there's a lot of things that I wouldn't have accepted or wasn't ready for, because and it's a physical thing. I think you have to go through it physically, and experience it physically. That would have been a certain point I couldn't accept that. I just wouldn't accept that. But, time doesn't heal. I think it just moves on, really, and you learn more about yourself. But I can understand how difficult that is and how despairing that might be.
Yes, I mean, the first thing is our human awareness, the way we've been taught, will kick in to make sense of the events that just happened. But the thing that I see consistently when I teach my clients, it's how from a very young age, we build those expectations, but also one-sided view of a reality where we never question the other side. And it is because of that that we form beliefs and certain values and certain meta-programming in our head that basically it can keep us in a long-term pain until that pain is so unbearable that you are forced to take action, either to go and see somebody, or in worst cases, a lot of people commit suicide. And in last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of publicity around that on TV, where a young doctor committed suicide because the pressure from the outside society, her as a doctor, to be able to go and seek help was too much for her to actually do. And it takes, what's interesting for me, it takes somebody's life to lose their life for an issue to be brought into the public awareness. And I think we should not leave it to the last moment, but actually be able to have the, I would say, not only the public and also the press, but every human being to become more aware that people are fragile. And anybody, regardless at what level of awareness of personal development or knowledge or wisdom you have, anybody can crush. And just having that awareness in yourself, it's actually extremely empowering, because if you tell yourself, I'm okay, even when you experience the worst things, you're not going to have the confidence or the courage to go and seek external help. So no matter that I've done 30 years of work on myself, I still have 3 amazing teachers around me that I consistently have sessions with, just to help me to overcome certain challenges, because my calling is now global. And when you have such a global calling, you need to have people at a global level who actually achieve what you're trying to achieve, and to mentor you, to coach you, and actually to ground you in your energy. That most people don't give themselves that gift, and they give themselves excuses. I'm sort of person, even when I had nothing, I actually went and sought and did many jobs to actually be able to make it affordable to what I want to achieve in my life. And when people have approached me to work personally with me, sometimes I say, oh, Tony, I can't afford that kind of work. And the first thing I tell them, never ever tell yourself those words, whether it's about me or anything in life, but ask yourself more of an empowering question, which would be, how can I make it affordable for me to transform my life, for me to transform my business, for me to transform my children's way of thinking or being, or for me to transform anything that basically I know needs to change in my life. So this is the question that 30 years ago put me on this path that I am today, that basically I never gave myself excuses not to seek external help, not to be able to afford the things that I wanted to do. Because if you're going to have this vision to bring your wisdom, your business, your products, your services to serve more people, you do need the financial background to be able to afford all of those things. Because a business means you have to pay a lot of people to run a business. So a business owner has a massive, I would say, responsibility to be able to turn over profit, to be able to pay those people to go to the next level. And equally, if you are a business owner at home working on your own, at some point you actually want to hire people to delegate some of the work, so you free yourself time, so you work on the business, not in the business.
Now that reminds me, I spoke to Bella Leah St. John last week and asked her about achievement thinking, and it made me think of that when you said about the limiting words that we tell us, and words are so powerful. It reflects our thinking about we're not capable and we can't, rather than thinking how we can. Our brain actually answers that question for us by asking it. So what's your view on achievement thinking?
Well, there's 2 parts to achievement, Janice. The first part is why are we called to achieve? Because basically a lot of people, they are called to achieve things because they measure themselves against some external authority, or because somebody has achieved these things in their lives, and therefore they're creating these illusions that by pursuing that path, they will get that as well. So this is what I call external driven achievement, which leaves people in tremendous pain, resentments, and many emotions, including stress and disappointments in life. And some people turn into drinking and all those sort of bad behaviors that get developed as a result. And then you have the second achievement, which basically I've helped all of my clients create, where basically you start to understand your true being and start to understand what are the injected values and beliefs that you've learned from a very young age that are trying and forcing you to achieve things externally. And once you understand those things, you start really getting aligned to yourself, what is truly meaningful and what do you value and what are your true authentic values. When a client, a person is aligned to their true authentic values and they start clearing up their belief system and their mindset, this is where the internal achievement rises. This is where inspiration comes in, not a motivation. I was somebody who was for almost 40 years preaching motivation until I realized it was the carrot outside of me consistently keeping me on that burnout I would say, fast running machine. And I never realized it, how the society, all the personal development workshops I attended and everything else, they were giving me the carrot. But working with teachers one-to-one, with mentors and coaches, helped me activate the inspiration within me. And the inspiration within ourselves is what really creates an achievement which is aligned to your truest, highest values, where you do not experience burnout, but you are extremely youthful. Thank you for the compliment. And also extremely energetic when you actually wake up every day to do the work that inspires you. But most people trying to put themselves to do work that inspires others. Now, going back, if you don't love yourself, you can't love other people. And equally, if your work is not inspirational within, it will never inspire other people. It may be momentary effect you will have, but you will not have consistent effect on the people you're trying to serve. So it is extremely important to understand the difference between those things and why you're trying to achieve something in your life.
All of our conversations are coming back to self. You know, you are the source, and so much your unlimited potential, it's all kind of inside, and actually understanding the things on the outside actually from what's happening inside and really tapping into that. I would love to talk to you for hours and hours. In actual fact, I'm going to be in Scotland with you, so I'm going to be able to do that. But we must talk about business abundance. But before I do that, it's Bella's birthday today. Bella is hosting and organising this event. So happy birthday, Bella, from us.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bella.
Dear Bella.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, business abundance. Business abundance is on the 28th to the 30th of September. It's in beautiful Loch Lomond in Scotland, and it's a 3-day event. It's free to attend. Can you imagine getting this guy free to attend? Up close and personal. And it's going to be great fun, lots of discussions and workshops, and we're going to be delving way deeper. We have just touched the surface in the questions that I've asked Tony, and he's answered them brilliantly with so much depth and different aspects that you really need 3 days to actually go through it all. So you must come along. I will definitely post the link. But Tony, from your perspective, who do you think should come along to this event, and what do you think they'll get out of it?
So from my perspective, if you are somebody who's a business owner, entrepreneur, a leader in a company, or you're a coach or an author, or simply a professional out there who you want to really bring your gifts to the world, and you feel stuck about where are those next steps, whether it's about business, whether it's about products, whether it's about pitching your businesses, whether it's about marketing or sales. This event has such a range and diverse teachers that you actually can immerse and ask their wisdom. I usually don't do these events like this, free events. This is something, it's my gift to humanity, and I do one of those a year. So it's a unique experience for you to be able to come and experience myself and many other teachers, and Janice and other people will be there speaking, and soak the wisdom to be able to go back and implement that into your business, so you can actually grow more, not only in yourself, but also the kind of network and connection you're going to be making out there in Scotland. Because one of the things that helped me build a 7-figure business on my own, only with one virtual PA, it's the kind of relationships that I built over a period of time. And I get many of my clients through being referred to me, or through my books, through my products, through the documentaries, through TV appearances, Facebook Lives, all sorts of stuff. So a lot of people are seeking a business coach and a spiritual teacher come to me, because I create a very, very focused work. And I have this 5-day vital planning for elevated living program that literally extracts all your wisdom out, and we create an amazing business that you can take to the world. So come into this event, you'll be able to ask me any question you want. And you can ask all those experts the questions that most likely nobody else can actually answer to you. And it's in a beautiful location, because I believe when you bring the environment and you bring the teachers and then you bring the students in one place, a miracle is possible. So if you are seeking some kind of breakthrough in your business, if you are seeking some kind of breakthrough in yourself, if you are seeking to even have one question answered, this is an excellent opportunity in a beautiful environment for you to actually feel relaxed about being, one, vulnerable, because most people put many facades about where they are in their personal business life. But this is a place with conscious teachers where you can be yourself and get some value that usually you will have to pay thousands and thousands of pounds to attend. So it's a unique opportunity.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right, because you're never going to get this opportunity again to have like international speakers, but really up close, so that you can ask one-to-one questions. It would cost normally thousands. And for anyone that's stuck anywhere in their life, this is the event will help to stick you. You'll find something someone says, and you can investigate that further, that will allow you to really make quantum leaps when you finish the 3 days. So I'm really excited about it, because I know from the other teachers that are going to be there, then that's going to help me. So my aim is to give, but I absolutely know, being in that environment, I'm going to get lots and lots out of it. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to being with you.
The other part is basically, if you are considering to have a coach or a mentor or somebody in your life, this is a perfect opportunity for you to get to know that person.
Yeah,
so it's basically it's a test drive them. You can test drive them there and then, because some people, they richly go through, okay, I need to be able to trust and connect with my teacher. And this is a really good environment for you to see who they are, what gifts they have, and what knowledge and wisdom they have to be able to help you to break through whatever boundary you may have currently, to be able to take you to the next level. And having all these people under one umbrella, I think it's a really great opportunity. But also, we know the area where we're going to be is very, very pretty, very beautiful. I haven't been to Scotland for almost 10 years now, so I'm really looking forward. And also, we're going to have a cardio surgeon next to us. My partner is coming there with us, so you'll be safe if you have any form of health issues. We have a doctor with us, but we have really a nice bunch of people who are coming together to serve people to really take their lives and their businesses to the next level.
Absolutely. And I'm interviewing Isabella next week as well. So I had Bella last week, and then you. Right, I've got some really quick fire questions to finish off. And this one sounds really silly. What's the one thing you haven't done yet? I mean, really?
Jumped from an airplane.
Oh, right. Okay. Maybe we can arrange that in Scotland. What are you most passionate about, and why?
I love seeing the light that comes out of my clients when they get those moments of awareness of what truly is possible for them, when they acknowledge that in themselves. So I love to teach people true mastery and bring their wisdom together and create a bridge between matter and spirit, and being able for people who have those ideas in their head, being able to materialize them and monetize them, and then honor their spiritual growth and understand this powerful entity that lives in the body, and how to really bridge those two, the limited part of our body with this infinite energy that lives in a limited container. And when the two become in sync, it's amazing the energy that radiates from that person. And this is what I really love doing for a lot of my clients.
Brilliant. Okay, last question. If you're on a desert island on your own, what's the one thing you would take with you?
The internet.
You might have the internet, and what are you going to use to access it? Don't you need your phone or something?
Well, the internet, it's, where I mean the internet.
You like.
Yeah, you can have whatever you like, and you'll never get bored.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll have all the people from around the world there with me, so
Yeah, I can't ever imagine getting bored with you. So I'm really, really honoured that you're my friend, and I'm really grateful that we've got this opportunity to go to Scotland. And from Tony and I, invite all of you to come along. It's a limited number, and this is a real gift, isn't it, Tony? It's a real gift. So I'm really excited. So thank you very much for spending the time with us today, Tony. It's been a real honour.
Pleasure.